fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
In the year 1875, the criminal activities of a mysterious midnight rider in and near the town of Rock Point, New Mexico, began to infect the entire region with a sense of helpless panic. The Lone Ranger and Tonto had stopped to visit their old friend, Marshal Bill Collins.
So that's how it is, mister. Apparently half of New Mexico has been terrorized by this midnight rider.
Tell me, Marshal, how did you find out about the situation in Rock Point?
Well, about a week ago, I got a letter from Charlie McClellan. He's a sheriff down there. He sounded half out of his mind. He says the town's dying right in front of his eyes, and he can't do a thing about it.
It seems strange that one bandit able to do so much damage.
Of course, he could have a confederate among the townspeople. Someone to help and give him information.
Well, whatever the case may be, I feel mighty sorry for Charlie. He loves that part of the country and has a lot of faith in its future.
I have a great deal of faith in the future of the Southwest myself, Marshal. Sorry we have to make this trip so short, but Tonto and I must be on our way.
You're heading for New Mexico?
Yes, we'll leave this afternoon. We should be in Rock Point by the 17th.
Mister, I know McClellan will give you all the cooperation possible. As a matter of fact, I'll send him a wire.
That shouldn't be necessary, but thanks. Adios.
Good luck.
Fullest cooperation. Regards, W.B. Collins, U.S. Marshal. Lone Ranger arriving.
Hey, Pete, you take over for me. Something I got to do.
I'll tell you, Charlie, I won't have any depositors left if this town gets any smaller. Do you realize what this midnight rider has done to business around here?
Good afternoon, Mr. Niles, Sheriff.
Hi.
Nice fellow. Who?
Delroy? Oh, yeah.
Not the smartest man on earth, maybe, but a good citizen, nevertheless. This town needs more like him.
Sure does.
Delroy?
Yeah, let me in.
What do you know? Didn't expect to see you for another week.
Well, we're in trouble. Yeah, read that.
Well, it's been nice knowing you, partner. If you ever get to Mexico, look me up.
Oh, sit down, Barty, sit down.
Look, Delroy, the hayride's over. We've done this midnight rider idea to death anyway. We've got about $100,000 buried outside, and I aim to live long enough to spend my half. I've heard plenty about the Lone Ranger. Personally, I think...
You think? With what?
Watch it, Delroy.
You know, Delroy, you baffle me. You look like a fretful little small-time telegraph operator. Maybe that's what you were once. What happened?
That's a good question. Maybe I just wanted to prove something to myself. And to everybody else. All my life, it's been good old John. No brains, but nice, fine fella. You think I'm a fine fella, Buddy?
I think you're a maniac. But I've gone along with you this far. I might as well stick a while longer. All right. What do we do about the Lone Ranger?
Well, we kill him, obviously.
Now, I know you're a maniac. From everything I've heard about this character...
Don't forget what you heard about him. He's just a human being. As a matter of fact, he looks a little like you. With the same height and weight. You had the same kind of clothes he wears and a mask. Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Yeah. Why not? You know, Barty, you just said we've done this midnight rider business to death. You're right.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Suppose the midnight rider gives one final farewell performance before we clear out of town. Suppose you knock over the bank in broad daylight on the 17th of this month.
In broad daylight?
Yeah, we've always hit these people at night. They're conditioned to it. They never in the world expect a daylight attack.
Why the 17th?
Because that's the day the Lone Ranger gets here. And on that day, you'll be the Lone Ranger.
You mean you want me to dress up like he does, wear a mask like his, ride a white horse, and then rob the bank?
Exactly.
What's the advantage?
All right, Barty, I'll spell it out for you, nice and slow. Has anybody around here ever had a close look at the Midnight Rider?
No.
No. But on the 17th, they will get a close look at him, won't they? And what will they see?
Well, they'll see a masked man on a white horse. They'll think they see the Lone Ranger.
Right.
And we'll get out of town and leave the Lone Ranger to face the consequences.
No, Barty, we won't. We'll kill him first. We don't want him following us, do we? What we do want is for Sheriff McClellan to spend the rest of his life looking for a dead man.
Yeah, sure.
Luckily, we got plenty of time to prepare for it. Now, I know a place below the border where you can have a costume made. I'll tell you everything to ask for. You can also get a mask and a white horse.
Delroy, isn't there one little item you're forgetting?
Now, what's that?
The Lone Ranger himself. I have to find him to kill him. He never rides the main roads. He never comes straight into town. We can't read his mind.
You know, Barty, in a way, you just have read his mind. You know he's going to have to make camp somewhere on the outskirts of Rock Point.
Yeah, but where?
Well, Devil's Canyon, I'd figure.
It's just a guess.
Is it? You try and think for a minute. Now, you know this area. Where would you make camp if you were riding into town from the north?
Well, I'd want a place where I wouldn't be seen. A place with water enough for my horse. It'd have to be isolated.
Go on.
Yeah. There's only one place that fits. Devil's Canyon.
And early on the 17th, that's just where you'll be. Waiting on the rim.
Delroy, I have to hand it to you. At least you're a smart maniac.
It was past noon on the 17th when the Lone Ranger and Tonto drew rein on the outskirts of Rock Point.
Well, Tonto, I'd better leave you here. My mask would cause too many questions in town.
Me tell Sheriff McClellan you meet with him after dark.
Good. We'll camp in that canyon over there. Seems to be the only favorable campsite around here.
Me remember that good place to camp. Me meet you maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Good luck, Tonto.
Come on, Silver. You and me have a job to do in town.
You looking for something, Indian?
Me want to talk to Sheriff McClellan.
Well, he's not here right now. Probably at one of the ranches near here. I'm his deputy. Anything I can do?
Better me talk to Sheriff. Me wait.
Sure. He'll be back soon.
You Sheriff McClellan?
That's right, Indian. What can I do for you?
Me bring message from Sheriff. He say...
Yeah, Silver!
So what happened, Mr. Niles? I heard some shots.
The Midnight Rider. Sheriff, he got away with almost every big bill we had in the safe.
Round up a posse.
I made a mistake this time, Sheriff. We all got a close look at him.
I heard him call his horse Silver.
All right, I expect every able-bodied man in this town to be ready to leave in 5 minutes. Now, snap on it.
Kemo Sabe, me bring bad news from town. What's wrong?
Well, I'm all right now, Tonto.
I look like Bullet Gray's temple.
I was riding toward the canyon when I left you.
It was a shot. I felt a terrific pain in my head.
You chase man who shoot you?
I don't know, Tonto.
You not know?
When I came to my senses, I was riding away from town in an area of shale and bedrock. The impact of the bullet must have caused a temporary loss of memory.
How long you gone from Canyon, Kemo Sabe?
I don't know. The sun was up when you left. Must have been at least 3 hours.
That's not good.
Why not?
When me go to Rock Point, sheriff not there. Me wait maybe 1 hour. Finally, sheriff come back. Before me have chance to speak with him, outlaw rob bank.
In broad daylight?
First time people get description of Midnight Rider. Him tall like you, wear mask and clothes like yours, ride white horse. Me go with posse, follow trail till we lose it. On bedrock outside town.
After I've rested, perhaps we... Tonto.
Midnight Rider impersonate you, Kemo Sabe. There much shale and bedrock in this area.
If I could only remember what I did for those 3 hours. I can't prove I'm innocent, Tonto. I can't prove I'm innocent, not even to myself.
Buenos dias, senor. You are awake. You sleep late, eh?
What's the matter, Tonto? Don't you recognize me?
Kemo Sabe, that good disguise.
I put it on last night while you were sleeping. Wearing my regular clothes underneath.
You feel better today?
Much better, Tonto. After breakfast, I want to pay a visit to the bank that was robbed yesterday. I want to talk with someone that got a close look at the man who impersonated me.
You think him same man who shoot you?
Yes, it seems likely, Tonto.
Plenty bad luck Midnight Rider happened to be in Canyon the same time you come through.
Maybe it wasn't a matter of luck. Remember that this canyon is the only isolated spot around here for a good campsite. Now, if the Midnight Rider knew we were coming to Rock Point...
But how him know that, Kemo Sabe?
Don't forget that Marshal Collins offered to send a wire to Sheriff McClellan.
Then you think Sheriff McClellan friend of Midnight Rider?
No, Tonto, I didn't say that. I'm sure there's a dozen different ways that wire might have fallen into the wrong hands.
There are many questions me like to ask Midnight Rider.
I have a few questions I want to ask him myself when I find them.
Yes, sir. I'll be with you in just a minute.
Take your time, partner.
Barney, what are you doing here in town?
Don't get hysterical, Delroy.
Come on, write something. You're supposed to be a customer.
Just wanted to find out what happened in town after the holdup yesterday. Did I look like the Lone Ranger?
Sure. Enough to fool everyone who saw you. Now, I take it you didn't have any trouble out at the canyon.
I rode in about 2:30 and I shot him through the head.
Did you bury him in the canyon?
I didn't bury him anywhere. He rolled clear to the bottom of the canyon after I shot him. I didn't have time.
You're not even sure he's dead?
Of course he's dead.
Are you brainless idiot? Well, what are you waiting for? Go on, ride back there to the canyon now. If you find the masked man, bury him. Barty, the masked man isn't there. And heaven help you.
Why we stop here, Kemo Sabe?
I don't want to be seen in town riding silver. We'll leave our horses here and go the rest of the way on foot.
Well, it's about time he got back. Go on, take over. I'm going home. I don't feel well.
Thousand pardons, senor. Look, comes the
Why don't you look where you're going?
Si, senor.
Come in.
Buenos dias, senor. You are Senor Niles, the presidente of the bank?
Yes, sir, I am.
The man who gives out the money, he said you were in. Senor, I do not like to intrude, but I'd like to speak with you for a moment about the robbery yesterday.
Come in, please.
Si, senor.
Sit down.
Gracias. Senor, when I hear of these terrible things, I say to myself,
Maybe this is the man who makes so much trouble for me.
You were robbed, too?
Si, senor. Of something very precious. This outlaw, you get a good look at him?
Yes, I did.
You tell Pancho what he looked like?
Well, he was a tall man, dark-haired, wore a light Stetson and a mask. Rode a white horse called Silver. I guess everybody in town knows whose description that fits. The Lone Ranger.
Is it possible you make a mistake, senor?
I don't think so. I know it sounds incredible, but frankly, I was so stunned I didn't recognize him myself immediately. It was John Delroy who identified him first.
Who is this Delroy?
He's one of the telegraph operators here in town.
I see. The man who gets the wires the moment they come in, see?
Yes, that's right.
Bueno, I will remember. I'm sorry to take up so much of your time.
I only hope I've been able to help you.
You have indeed. Adios.
You hold it right there, mister.
Mr. Delroy, what is this?
I took the liberty of sending your cashier for the sheriff, Mr. Niles.
You've done what?
I have reason to believe this man may be the robber.
Are you sure?
We collided outside my office. Some of the brown makeup he's using on his face and hands rubbed off on me. When the sheriff arrives, I think we better have that makeup removed, Mr. Niles.
Well, this man is about the same height as the robber.
Nobody's attending your bank, sir. Hadn't you better get out there and wait for the sheriff? I'll keep our mysterious friend covered. All right, sit down. Now, mister, am I right in thinking you may be the Lone Ranger? Well, it doesn't make too much difference. I'll have to kill you anyway. If you are the Lone Ranger, all my troubles are over. If you're not, I'll just have to keep on looking. You'll be shot while trying to escape.
You're a clever man, Delroy. I should have suspected the telegraph operator. But you made two bad mistakes.
And what were they?
First was taking in a partner.
Partner?
That's right. You're not the Midnight Rider. You're too small to have impersonated me.
Well, that's a good point.
I've been thinking of a saying. There's no honor among thieves. You and your partner have stripped this town of a fortune. Are you sure that money is safe, Delroy?
You said there were two mistakes, mister. What's the second?
The second was even more stupid. You shouldn't turn your back to a rear door.
No, it won't do. Hey, oh.
Good work, Tonto.
Me see this fellow bump into you, then follow you into bank. Me go around back, listen that door. What we do now? Wait for sheriff, tell him what happened here?
I doubt whether the sheriff would take our word against Delroy's without proof. But unless I'm mistaken, we'll have that proof in a couple of hours. Well, I won't need this disguise anymore. I want you to go back where we left the horses. You can see the rear of the bank from there. Wait for my signal, and then bring Silver and Scout to the rear door.
What do you do, Kemo Sabe?
Well, I'll stay here. I want to see what Delroy does about the suspicions I've tried to plant in his mind. Hurry, Tonto.
Mr. Delroy. Is he dead?
Delroy, what happened?
Where is he? Sheriff, I think maybe he's going back to his camp. It's in Devil's Canyon.
How do you know that?
Well, he happened to let the information drop while he was here.
I'll go with you. The horses are out front.
Coming, Delroy?
No, I got something to do.
All right, suit yourself.
Me bring cloth to remove makeup.
Good, Tonto. I think Delroy is about to lead us to where the stolen money is hidden. Watch from the alley and see which direction he takes. Well, Tonto,
Him take main road, Kemo Sabe, head toward mountain.
as soon as I remove this makeup, we'll pick up his trail.
Me wait outside. Them leave main road here, Kemo Sabe.
I'll follow him from here alone. You'd better go for the sheriff. You'll find him in Devil's Canyon with his deputy and Mr. Niles. Tell him you know where the Lone Ranger is. I'll leave a clear trail for you to follow.
Me Sabe.
It's Delroy. So the masked man was right. How far do you think he'd get with that money, partner?
Are you crazy? I couldn't find the masked man's body, so I came back here to bring the costume.
Did you?
yourself. The money hasn't been touched.
Delroy! All right, Barty, against the wall. Hands high. Sheriff will be here soon. We'll get you to a doctor.
What difference does it make? I'm through anyway. All I want is to live long enough to see that Barty gets what's coming to him. I've quite a story to tell the sheriff, mister. Quite a story.
Well, mister, I guess we all owe you an apology. Little did I think when the Indian brought me out, I'd come across a scene like this. How's Delroy?
I'm afraid he's dead, sir. Before he died, he signed a full confession naming himself and Barty as entirely responsible for the robberies.
We found nearly all of the stolen money buried outside, together with part of the costume that Barty used. I have admired you, sir, for many years. And I can't tell you how glad I am to find out that you're not the one who robbed my bank.
Mr. Niles, you'll never know how glad I am to find out for sure myself. Well, Tonto, it's time we were riding on. Adios, friends.
What do you suppose he meant by that?
Beats me.
Well, they say you never can figure out what he'll do next, so I guess maybe you can't figure out what he'll say next either. No, sir. There's just no telling about the Lone Ranger.
Silver!